Hello, survivors, and welcome to the State of Decay 2 stream. I'm your host, Geoffrey Card, and this is a little bit of an unusual stream. We are doing this stream not to announce any kind of brand new features or interview any of our colleagues or anything like that. What we're doing is celebrating our free play weekend that we're doing right now, September 21st to 25th, 2023, if you're watching this later and want to know what dates we're talking about. There's a free play weekend. Anybody on Steam or on Xbox can go and grab State of Decay 2 and play it for free for this weekend. And so we want to celebrate that by playing the game ourselves. Getting in there, sort of showing you what we love about the game, talking about some of the latest updates that have come in, and meeting some of the people who've been involved. So before we get into the game, let's introduce who's going to be here talking to us. On the left there, that's Rohan Plumber. He is our customer advocate. He is the one where when you send in complaints and bug reports to the game, he is the human being who receives your messages. So be nice. How you doing, Rohan?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while since I've been on the stream, so I can't wait to answer questions and engage with the folks.
Yeah, Rohan is often one of our moderators in the chat, and so you don't usually get to hear his beautiful voice. And so this time, that's one of our goals. And then, of course, we've got Brant Fitzgerald, one of the creators of State of Decay, who is here from an undisclosed location somewhere in the United States. How are you doing, Brant?
I'm doing well, Jeffrey. This undisclosed location is my son's bedroom, which is also my office.
Well, hey, it's efficiency with space, which is really valuable in the zombie apocalypse, something that we all appreciate. So let's get into the actual game. So if you are a brand new person who is joining us for the very first time, who just happened to see State of Decay on the Steam page and is curious about it, basically, State of Decay is a community-building zombie survival game. So you play at any given time, you're running around as one particular character. You've got an inventory full of weapons and supplies and things like that. And you are on a map that is full of zombie infestation, and you're trying to run out there, get the supplies that your people need to survive, and defeat as many zombies as you can until you can sort of make this place a safer place and get to one of our several endings where your community is successful at sort of, establishing themselves in this very dangerous world. But that's been true for a really, really long time. There have been some recent updates to the game, which are sort of the major focus that we've been, had for a little while. For one thing, we've got these plague hearts here. These have been in the game since release, but they are a lot more aggressive these days because of the recent heart attack update. Right now, this one's asleep, but if I make a ruckus nearby, it'll wake up and it'll start aggressively sending zombies after my base. So that's a thing we have to worry about as of this year. And this big purple bubble over here, this is the very latest update that just came out this week. This is from the Curveball update, which basically we've got these events that can happen that mess around with the zombie situation. This is Vicious Rumors, which means that our people, don't get to use the currency available on the frontier as effectively until they resolve this curveball. Hyper-auditory mutation means that all the zombies have a much easier time hearing you, but they can't see you very well. So just your whole stealth experience changes while this is active. And so, we've got a couple of different updates that we're going to be showing off. But I think the best way to do it, I've had this community here for a really long time. They've already defeated most of the plague hearts on this map. We've kind of accomplished enough that there's not much left to do. So what I think I want to do is sort of reset the map with this community and sort of start over from scratch, trying to build something on the frontier over the next couple of hours. So right here, here, we've got our difficulty settings. And our difficulties go from green, which is our easiest difficulty, up to lethal, which is stupid and no one should play at. I'm going to play at lethal. I'm going to set all of these to lethal, and particularly that bottom difficulty option. That's the map difficulty. If you change the map difficulty, it actually resets the entire map, because map difficulty has to do with things like loot distribution and where the plague hearts are, and that's something we can't just change midstream. We can only change it, by just starting the whole thing over. So I'm going to restart this entire map at the highest difficulty level, mostly because I think you might all be entertained by watching me die. So that's what we're going to do. So I've done it. Now, luckily, this is not going to be the experience you'll have if you want to start the game from scratch at lethal difficulty, because then even just getting your hands on a gun can be a challenge. This is a long-lasting community that I've had for a long time. So they've got a bunch of guns. They've got a bunch of good stuff going for them already. I'm stacking the deck a little bit in my favor. But Yeah. So, but anyway, so what we've done is we've reset. So now we've started in our little starter house. It's very small. It doesn't have a lot of space. So we're going to try to clear out some space in our base. There's a couple of facilities we definitely need. We definitely want an infirmary. So if somebody gets sick, we can keep them alive. We want a workshop so that we can, build things that we can use to kill zombies. We want to expand our storage. And I should probably stick a mod in the kitchen. What should I stick in the kitchen? We've got a fireworks. The anniversary cake oven. That's what I'm going to stick in the kitchen so we can bake some cakes that explode. Because that's one of the things you always want to do in the zombie apocalypse is do stupid things that you couldn't do in real life. Anyway, that's the gameplay setup. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be running around. It looks like my community could really use some fuel. And I'm trying to remember. I think there might be a gas station up this road. There's also a plague heart up this road, which makes me nervous. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to start trying to scavenge some supplies for my people. But while I'm doing that, Rohan. So we just this Monday released update 34, and sometimes when you release an update, everything goes wrong, and sometimes things go pretty smooth. And you're the person on the front lines who actually gets to see firsthand whether it's going well or whether it's going badly. How has this release gone for you and for the audience members who've been reporting it to you?
Yeah, it's been fairly positive. There are some hiccups here and there with people who prefer to play the game the quote-unquote natural way, wanting to, turn off the curveballs and things like that. So that's where a big bulk of it is coming from, and trying to make sure that people understand that it is optional. You don't have to do it. We want you to engage with it at first, but at the end of the day, you still craft your own experience while playing the game.
Yeah. Okay. So I have managed to just get into horrible trouble right out of the gate. I just walk outside my door and I'm suddenly immediately beset by zombies, which is awesome. This is what I did this for. But I'm sorry that I'm a little bit distracted. I'm glad that you're here to talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
This is the content I come here for.
It's just me having a panic attack. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I think one of my friends must have killed that feral that came after me. There was this really, the nastiest zombie in the game is the feral, because he's just really quick. He's hard to kill because he moves around so fast. And the lethal zone feral actually basically has a helmet of bone on his head, so you can't actually kill him with a single headshot like you can in the other difficulty levels. So luckily, I've got a suppressed gun, and again, that's a thing you would not have if you were just starting a community from scratch. You don't start with a suppressed weapon, and so I'm lucky. Oh crap, that was a screamer. He's going to attract more zombies.
It's about to get really bad.
Look, I might have killed enough zombies nearby that maybe he didn't have as many zombies to draw from. Are we okay? Okay, I think we might be okay. Well, hey, Rohan, it was nice to know that the... back to the question.
Yeah.
That things have gone, you're right that basically there are, the curveball update, it adds these additional wrinkles to the gameplay where if what they like about the game is sort of its predictability, is sort of the fact that this is a world that you can get to know, you can spend a lot of time living here, and if a lot of what you like about the game is sort of those known quantities, I can totally imagine you being like, hey, this is just going to be messing up my entire vibe if you suddenly start changing up the rules of this world randomly with big purple things landing on the map. And so we do actually, we should let folks know that we do have an option here. If you open up the settings menu, after you've gone through the tutorial that's taught you about curveballs, if you go to settings, gameplay, right here we've got enable curveball events. You can turn that off and curveballs will stop happening for all of your campaigns. We have gotten a little bit of feedback from a player who said that when they set this, it kept not saving, it would keep turning back on again. But we've only heard that from, I think, is it just one person, Rohan, that's reported that to us?
Yeah, so far it's been one. A lot of it has been that when they turn it off, they have to turn it off per community. So if you have multiple communities, so far it looks like in the settings you do have to do it per community. And obviously we're going to take that feedback and take it to the folks in Wushu, because we understand how tedious and kind of frustrating that might feel. And as far as the one person is concerned, we're trying to investigate why that is potentially happening to that person, because that's something for sure we would have caught super early on in testing, that it's not saving in settings whatsoever.
Yeah. It feels like there's probably some kind of edge case going on there that isn't true for everybody. It's we'll have to figure out what that is. But that's the thing that's nice about the way we handle this feedback. It's like we don't just sort of like just vaguely listen to social media or something like that. We've got this place you can go called support.stateofdecay.com. If you go there, you can lodge tickets, and basically, Rohan receives your messages, and if you've got, a broad problem that's sort of the same as everybody else's problems, that he can pass that to the developers. He can write bugs and make sure that we are aware of what's going on, so we can fix stuff. But then, if you're just having an individual problem where it's like something about your setup is weird, you'll also spend some time with people sort of talking through those problems, won't you? And like help them figure out what could be going wrong locally with their setup.
Yeah, and for sure, a lot of the troubleshooting steps are the same. It helps when we can get as much detailed information as possible. I do have a support team that also supports me and grabs those things and handles a lot of those tickets as well. So it's really important that you give us as much information as possible, than more than a vague, hey, this isn't working. Well,
yeah.
Why? What's not
why don't
working?
you fix your game? Those messages are the best.
Yeah, it really truly goes a long way for us, because when I write the bug report, I can, now that we're working with Wushu, there's a huge time difference between Seattle and Liverpool. So it helps
that's right.
to get as much detail as possible, so the back and forth is easy and we're able to fix those problems in a more immediate manner.
Yeah, I should fill folks in. Anyone who's sort of new to our stream or new to our game. So State of Decay 2 was developed internally by us here at Undead Labs. And we released it back in 2018. And we've been consistently supporting the game ever since with updates. I mean, the update that just launched this week is update 34. Why can I not shoot zombies? And so, but we've basically, a lot of us now, though, have needed to move on to other future games in the franchise. And so, as a result, we've brought in some outside folks, Wushu Studios in Liverpool, to manage, a lot of the future update work on State of Decay 2. And so that's who did the Curveball update. Yeah, Curveball update was their sort of big entree into doing updates on State of Decay 2. And we're really happy with the work that they did. And actually, when we get, so we're gonna, Rohan's gonna be our guest for the first hour. In the second hour, we're gonna be talking to Meg Cheney, who is the producer who oversaw sort of the transition between us and Wushu. Oh, holy crap! My character's almost dying of blood plague. I don't want to get anywhere near these zombies, because they are gonna make me sick. But yeah, so we'll be talking to her a little bit about that. But so when we talk about Wushu, that's what we're talking about. Oh, there's a plague heart here. That's why there's so many zombies here. There's an actual plague heart. I just came here looking for fuel. That's all I wanted. I don't want to fight a plague heart yet. Oh, that's insane. Okay.
Well, while you're here.
While I'm here. I mean, yeah. So here's the problem. I didn't bring any cure with me. So again, for people who are new, you can see on the left side of the screen, I've got a health bar, I've got a stamina bar. The health bar is red, the stamina bar is blue, but there's this white bar across the top of my minimap. That is my plague meter. That is how close I am to getting full-blown zombie blood plague and inevitably dying in 5 minutes unless I get a cure. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to grab a cure from my supply locker, which again, this early in the game, if you were just starting, you would not have that. And it would be way scarier. But because this is a well-prepared community, I'm going to go home, grab myself some cure, get this character ready, and then we are going to go and fight that plague heart.
What's going on, King P1? That's my dude.
All right, so I'm going to pull into this. This is not a real parking space. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going to get out. Let's go inside, get ourselves some cure, get ourselves some health. All right, so I'm going to use some of this cheap health stuff here to heal me up. I'm going to... Wait, do I not have cure? Oh, I do. Okay, I'm going to use a cure, and then I'm going to bring a cure with me in case I need another one. I'm going to drop off these 2 gas cans that I collected. And otherwise... Oh, and actually, I'm going to replenish my ammo, too, because I just went through a lot of ammo. In fact, let's... Oh, I need... Oh, my MAC-10 is actually... is in disrepair, so I should probably repair my MAC-10. Okay, now I think I'm ready to go. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to try this again, only this time I'm actually going to fight that plague heart, and it's going to be great. There was a question that somebody asked right before the stream that I was thinking of answering. And let's see. So Leon Anagers was asking. He said there was an issue where each of your characters is randomly generated or is procedurally generated, and they have these traits. And one of the traits is really, really popular, where people will randomize characters all day trying to find characters who have this trait. It's called Blood Plague Survivor. It makes them immune to that sickness that I just had to cure. But there was an issue where only like a quarter of the characters, or maybe it was only half of the characters, could actually have that trait. It made it more rare by accident. We didn't actually intend it to be that way. And so I did on the air actually make a change to the trait to fix it. Those are bloaters. Do not want them anywhere near my car. I made a change on the air, but unfortunately, because we had handed development off to Wushu and they had changed a couple of the development practices, I did it wrong and I actually broke the game. And the next morning they had to undo my changes because I had destroyed everything. So no, update 34 does not contain that change because I had to revert it because I messed it up. So I'm going to be remaking that change now that update 34 is out and we're a little bit safer to make changes. I'm going to make that change again, and we'll see what update it comes out in. So sorry, Leon, that it didn't arrive yet, but we're working on it. Okay, so here's my plan. There's a plague heart right here. You can't see it because I forgot how to turn on my there we go. There's my flashlight. So we've got a plague heart here. This thing, it's controlling this entire area on the map. I can't claim anything. I can't own anything here. And the area is full of extra dangerous zombies because this plague heart is here. Also, it's awake. And you can see that means it's sending hordes. This horde comes from the plague heart. And it's trying to get into a position to attack my base. I don't want any of that to happen. So I need to kill this plague heart. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a brick of C4 right next to it in case I need it. But I'm not going to set it off yet. Instead, I'm just going to hack at it with my melee weapon because that's the cheapest way to fight it for now. And actually, I should have brought a heavy weapon with me. There's 3 classes of melee weapons. 4, actually. You've got little stabbies, and then you've also got blunt weapons, bladed weapons, and heavy weapons. Heavy weapons are actually, in the lethal zone, which is the difficulty level I'm playing at, heavy weapons are by far the most effective weapons against plague hearts. Getting up close and personal with them and hitting them with a big heavy like hammer or a big heavy blade is the best way to take them down. And so I actually, if I was smart at all, oh crap, I just got tackled by something. That's not good. Let's
run.
Oh, okay. I think I just Okay. Hold on. Okay, so I just set off my C4 thinking that maybe this feral would be nearby, but it was not. There we go. Okay. Whew. So if you keep hitting them, you can keep them busy, which is nice, but, oh, everybody's here. Hi. Okay, hold on. I thought I had some fire. Do I not have fire? I guess I don't have any fire. Okay, well, I guess we come over here. I'm going to drop another one of these boys. And now that everyone knows I'm here, let me switch to my loud gun. I've got my quiet gun and my loud gun. So this was another, actually, this is a good example of the way that we've consistently supported this game after release. When the game first came out, you could only have one gun available at any given time. But in one of our later releases, like years after the game came out, we added the ability, oh crap, get off me. We added the ability for you to carry a sidearm and switch to a sidearm. Oh good, the plague heart's destroyed. I guess I might as well set off that bomb. I didn't end up using it. Okay. Oh crap.
Oh.
Nuh-uh.
It's time to go.
Oh, take your time, Gary. Okay. Anyway, I didn't get in the car fast enough. So now everybody's surrounding the car, and you do not want your car covered in zombies, because then your car's just going to explode. Okay, let's just lead everybody on. Okay, I wish that I had brought fire with me. I'm really sad that I didn't bring fire with me, because that, like, a Molotov is a great way to just get rid of an entire crowd of zombies at once.
You've got fire in your soul, Geoffrey.
Apparently so. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my quieter gun, so I'm not just making this constantly worse for myself by attracting more zombies with gunshots as I'm killing the ones I've got.
for the folks in chat who are making suggestions, I always will direct you to our wish list on the support site, support.stateofdecay.com. It does get seen. Do not believe it does not get ignored, and it's seen by the folks who need to see it. So do that. I think that'll go a longer way.
Okay, we've got everybody, and now we're gonna pick up these plague samples. Oh, there's a bloater. Those guys explode in gas. You do not want to get hit by those guys because they will murder you. Okay, I'm picking up those plague samples off the ground because this is what I use to make the cure. So, the fact that I got through that entire fight without getting sick with the blood plague, I got a little sick, didn't get a lot sick with the blood plague, is good because that means I get to gather up these plague samples and I can make another cure for next time. All right, let's see here. Okay, so Soyhammer has a question. He's wondering, he says that we've made a lot of, updates to State of Decay, but he still feels like the Plague Hearts are very weak. And he feels like we could have made them tougher to fight. Well, so the thing about Plague Hearts is there's making an enemy tougher to fight, and then there's making an enemy more interesting to fight. And right now, one of the easiest things we can do is sort of alter the health and the damage that are required for a Plague Heart. And we did that, when we added, the difficulty levels, when we added the lethal zone, we really went out of our way to make sure that the Plague Hearts took a lot more effort to kill by just raising their health, or effectively, actually what we did was we added damage dampers to all the different sources of damage you had at your disposal. So like we dampened heavy weapons a lot less, but we dampened guns and explosives a lot more, so that you would, have to rely on riskier methods of fighting them. Whew. All right. So yeah, you'd have to rely on risky methods to fight them. And the thing is, we could have made it just take like 10 times as much damage to kill a Plague Heart, but after a while, that's just not interesting anymore. Like if we were going to try to make them even tougher to kill, like take longer to kill, we would have to add more than just raising their health. We would need to actually make them more interesting to fight. We would need to give them other ways of fighting you, or other ways of changing up the battle over time. And that's a bit of a taller order. And so one thing we have done with the Plague Hearts is we did make them more active on sort of the macro scale. Like rather than fighting them in person didn't get harder, but just living with them on the map did get a lot harder, because now if you make a lot of noise around them and stuff, they'll wake up and they'll start attacking your base. And so now there is a lot more for you to think about, but the moment of fighting them, we didn't stretch that and make that much longer and much more tedious. Instead, we just tried to make engaging with them strategically more interesting, which doesn't mean we'll never try to make Plague Hearts, especially as we're going on and thinking about future games in the franchise. We'll definitely be thinking about, are there ways that we can make these fights more interesting? But I don't think that just raising their health is going to be quite enough. Now, there is actually, if you are looking for that experience, there is a curveball called the Black Heart that does actually make a Plague Heart much more resilient and more dangerous. And so if you're looking for that, play with curveballs on. Eventually you'll probably get an opportunity to fight a Plague Heart like that. But anyway, I think that's sort of the theory behind it anyway. But it's also just, the real answer to your question is there are so many things we could do to improve this game. Your one favorite is just, it's among thousands of possibilities. And we're always getting suggestions. Rohan is seeing constant suggestions from people, right? People, some of them really, really reasonable, some of them absolutely insane and we'll never do them. But in any case, that's your favorite, and to you that seems like the highest priority. We're trying to balance so many different priorities, so many different ideas coming from different players. It can be kind of crazy. I haven't actually looked at the wish list in a while. Rohan, have you looked at it recently? I'm not actually sure what the top things on there are.
It's been a while since I looked at the top things. Sometimes I have to enter the suggestions for folks when they send in the ticket about it.
Oh, gotcha.
So I don't remember the last thing, but I can definitely find it. I can look it up.
I'm just curious. The thing is, we're not going to, we're never going to commit to doing a particular thing on the wish list until we've already sort of investigated it and developed it, or if Wushu in this case has investigated and developed it, because we just always want to be really careful not to give people false hope, not to say oh yeah, we're definitely going to do all the stuff on the wish list, and then somebody suggests something and it gets really popular and we're we literally can't do that. That's not a thing that we can do. And there's various reasons why we might not be able to do a thing. Some of them are technical, or performance related. Like, you've got a great idea that sounds like it would be really fun gameplay, but actually doing it would actually slow the game to a crawl and it would be impossible. Or it would just be so onerous or so risky because we'd have to change so many different parts of the game at the same time. We could break the entire game by accident just trying to add one thing to it. There's lots of reasons why there's a particular thing that some particular suggestion might not work. And so we can't commit to just doing what's on the wish list, but the wish list is really helpful because it lets us know what you're most interested in, right? And so like, if we've got multiple different things, we're like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could do that. One of the best arguments in favor of one of them rising to the top is if the audience is clamoring for that exact thing. And so I know that we used to pay a lot of attention to the wish list for that reason. Wushu now is also paying attention to the wish list and using that as a source of inspiration. So we can never promise that that's going to be exactly what we do, but it is still really a valuable resource, and it's worthwhile to participate in. Okay, I've got a new character now because I want to give Scary Gary, the last character I was playing, a little bit of a rest. The reason he went to this site originally, though, was to pick up fuel. And it looks like not only is there likely to be fuel at that site because it's a gas station, but I think that I just saw on the map that the Plague Heart also contains a fuel rucksack. Because Plague Hearts...
There's a jug behind that rock.
Plague Hearts contain people. There's sort of a Soylent Green aspect of this game where you suddenly realize at some point that the inventory of a Plague Heart, when you kill a Plague Heart and you loot its crispy corpse, you find the exact set of inventory that one human being might have. And so you get the sense that, oh, at some point, this Plague Heart ate a guy. And this is what I'm getting. So they usually have a rucksack and a weapon and, a close combat weapon. And, oh, man, I should have looted this place the first time I came.
So what you're saying, Geoffrey, is that we've made Plague Hearts basically human haggis?
Oops. I just messed up my shot of Brant. Hold on a second. How the heck do I fix this? Sorry. Your voice suddenly got much louder, Brent. So I was going to try to adjust your volume, and then I just messed up the video instead. Okay. So what were you saying, Brent? Because I got distracted by the technical issue.
I was saying that Plague Hearts are essentially our version of human haggis.
Yes, because the stomach is stuffed with human. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to come over here, look inside this Plague Heart, and yes, it's got a fuel rucksack. I really want that. It's got a gun. It's got a zombie. It's got a zombie. Okay. Hello.
I was like, is that a thing on Lethal?
There we go. And then, so no. The zombie was hiding inside the room. The Plague Heart didn't spawn it as a defensive measure. Get off me, you...
I saw that Laco asked me what my favorite bounty pack is. I want to say it's the Bundle Up pack. It's cool. It's because it has a bomber jacket, and for those who don't know, I'm originally from New York, where the bomber jacket used to be king. So I enjoy like cosmetics and things like that. So that's my favorite pack for sure.
Yeah, actually, so all of my characters in this community are dressed kind of weirdly because this is the community that I use to sort of show off new features, seasonal content, stuff like that. And so I've got all these people who are just wearing weird clothes, like this Christmas sweater and these Halloween costumes and stuff like that. So yes, that's why. But yeah, a lot of that stuff can be unlocked by completing bounties. You see, like in the upper right corner of my screen, I've got a couple of active bounties. I so obsessively play through all of the bounties that we release in the game. Bounties are these sort of short-term goals. You can complete them and get a prize, usually a weapon or a piece of cosmetic content or some currency. And so I complete them so quickly that I spend basically it's just the longest term, most annoying bounties that I end up having on my list here. So I've just got some mission completing ones here on my list right now. And maybe I should do a mission so that I can actually complete one of these bounties and show how that works.
J-Bat, it's all about the puffer, man. What you know about that? Get out of here.
While we can't talk directly about State of Decay 3, Tank has a question about if any of the lessons we've learned or things that are on the wish list and things are guiding what we put into State of Decay 3. I will say that we're always learning. We're always keeping our eyes out. And great ideas can show up anywhere. And State of Decay 3 will allow us to explore different avenues and new and exciting places in the features in State of Decay. That's all I can really say about it. But so nothing specific, but we're learning, and we're always open to trying new things.
Yeah, because a game, the experience of a game is really made not at the developer, with a bunch of people, writing code, creating art, creating, other kinds of content. It's made when you pick up the controller and you play the game. That's where the experience actually happens. And so we don't even really know our own game until we've seen you play it. And so, State of Decay 1 made a lot of guesses and a lot of assumptions about what was going to work. And then when we saw people playing it, we learned a lot. And we're like, oh, wait, actually, people are playing this in a different way than we thought. And so we need to make changes. And I should probably make a little spot here where I can drop things off in my car. And so we're just always doing that. We consider the point where a player is playing the game to be the point when the real game is happening. And so absolutely. Like the way that you all are playing it now, the way that you're all reacting to things, all the patterns that we're noticing and how players engage with this franchise, all of that is top of mind as we're thinking about, what we should do in the future.
Our investment in data, in tracking data and watching how people play is paying off huge dividends for us, and hopefully you feel it's paying off big dividends for you as well, because we are developing this game with you. And I mean, you're not in the credits, but you're always in our hearts. I know that sounds really cheeseball, but I mean, you know me, I love you guys. I love everybody who plays our game, and I really appreciate it when people care enough to talk to us about it. Because why go through the effort of making 34 updates over 5 years or more now to a game if we're not excited to continue to improve and do things that you want to see? So
we've got some low morale going on in this community, so I'm going to try to see if I can increase that. Do I have any white noise generators? I feel like I might. Oh, there it is. White noise machine. Plus 10 morale. With power. Wait, do I have power? I don't have power. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna need to get power to this place.
There's a great question in chat from Spock4580. In your guys' opinion, which update was the most influential to SOD2? I just started last year, so I don't know if I can completely speak on it, but I think it's a cool question.
So are they asking like which one made the biggest difference to the experience? Is that sort of the idea?
I guess so. We can answer it like that.
I don't know. I think that we did 3 updates that all affected difficulty, and I think that one of the things I think of those as being pretty important because they sort of reflected collectively. They reflected sort of our commitment to wanting everyone to be able to play this game. For people who who don't play this kind of game at all, but they're inspired by the idea of living in this world, we want them to be able to play it. And we also want people who are just ridiculously hardcore, obsessed with being the best at everything. We want them to also feel really challenged by this game. And it's hard to make one game that serves all of those audiences. But I feel like the fact that we keep at 3 different updates, we just kept expanding the range of difficulty. It sort of really kind of emphasizes sort of the we want everyone to play this sort of nature of the game. So that's the first thing that occurs to me. Brant, does anything else stand out to you as being really important?
Well, 100% it was I think the most impactful overall was what you said, the difficulty settings. I loved being able to take a break and send my people on vacation to Green Zone. And it also really showed that there are a lot of people who just preferred to play that way. They wanted a more chill zombie apocalypse, and I'm glad we were able to provide that. I think I'm trying to think. I really like the heart attack update.
That was probably going to be my second too.
Because it really made sort of a relationship between you and the Plague Hearts. Not a healthy one, albeit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it instead of just a minefield, they turned into, you can choose to engage with these things quietly, or you can do what I do, which is run around and wake every heart up and try and force them to assault you.
Yeah. And I should note, by the way, for some of the audience who hasn't seen the game before, this plague heart is not the only plague heart on the map. The map is full of them. I just haven't scouted it yet. All of these red icons mean that there are plague hearts in charge of these areas. And so it's looking like it's not that bad, but I'm actually in a really bad situation here. Anyway, go ahead, Brett. I just wanted to illustrate that while I go out to find another one.
And then I think one of the first most effective changes for us, I can't remember, this was a long time ago, but when we retuned the vehicles, when Dan Mode went in and gave them independent suspension and things like that, it really added a lot to...
Yeah, you can suddenly drive off-road in a way you could not when the game first released. And you can just sort of a lot, again, like I said before, a lot of the fantasy... Oh, there's a bloater on the ground. I do not want to drive over that. A lot of the fantasy of the apocalypse is doing things you're not allowed to do when there are rules, and some of that basic stuff, like just being able to drive your car wherever you want to, wasn't really there in the initial release of the game. So yeah, you're right, Brant. That did make a huge difference, and that was not one of our most advertised ones. That's not one of the ones where made a huge deal out of it, but it was
right.
It made a big difference to the texture of the game.
I can't pronounce this name. Atomania. Yeah, the game still has a tether. We'll never get away from that with this architecture. It's because we're peer-to-peer networking. We can't have people independently running around different parts of the map. It would just be too taxing on the ability to transfer that information between all the players, because it has to go back and forth to every player in the game from the main player's machine, and that's dependent on the health of your bandwidth and hardware and a whole bunch of stuff that we just couldn't control. So without being a server-based game, it will always have a tether.
Whew. Okay. I've got Cure. I got totally infected by that feral, and now he wants to get on my car, but he can't figure out how to do it. I'm just going to shotgun him in the face. There we go. All right. So whenever you attack one of these plague hearts, you get completely swarmed by zombies, and so then the problem becomes... the plague heart itself isn't fighting you very much. It emits gas periodically that hurts you, but mostly it's the zombie ads. And in most difficulty levels, the zombie ads all get killed when you kill the plague heart, but in the lethal zone, they don't. And so I'm playing in the lethal zone, so I'm going to have to deal with all of these zombies even after the plague heart goes down. So I'm going to very quickly use some bandages and get my fire ready. Okay, we're running back in.
Vicky had a question. Do you guys have a favorite suggestion from the wish list?
That's it. So actually, one suggestion that people have made a lot is they want to have some kind of consistent day counter on the screen, because a lot of people really like to challenge themselves to see how long they can survive in the zombie apocalypse. And they've been asking for that for a really, really long time, and we have consistently not given it to them, which is to our deep shame. But Wushu actually, I think, snuck it in somewhere. There's no active curveballs right now, but when you have an active curveball, they actually do, on that information screen, show you how many days you've been surviving, which is great. They sort of snuck that in with their other stuff. But there's several things like that, a clock on the screen to tell you how long night is going to be, because right now it's in the middle of the night. I've got no idea when the sun is coming up. And there's something creepy and horror-like about that, which is kind of fun. But also, it would be convenient if I knew what time it was. And it's not like, watches disappeared. So, both of those have showed up on the wish list as common requests. And I would love if we did them at some point. Oh, come on. Where did the...
I see everyone's a wish list for a new map all the time. And
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh,
not gonna
boy.
happen. But I with you as someone who avidly played Halo and loved every map released when they were doing things like that, and COD, and I get the need for variety and wanting to try something new. So
Yeah.
I would say those are my favorite, but I know right now that that's not a thing we're thinking about whatsoever.
Yeah, one of the things I said, I'd say that, like, what we should have done probably, rather than shipping with 3 maps originally, we should have just shipped with 1 map and then just released the other 2 maps over time. So people love getting new maps so much, and unfortunately, yeah, because they're like the hugest type of content that we could possibly add to the game, and it takes basically a full court press from an entire team of dozens of people to make one new map work. I'm thrilled and amazed that this team was able to put together 2 extra maps that were added post-release. That by itself was actually a major accomplishment. So yeah, but no, if we just held off on those maps, we could have gotten credit for doing 4 post-release maps instead of just the 2. That would have been cool.
Maps are an impossibility at this point. It's crazy to think about, like, the investment we'd have to rearrange to get a new map in SOD2.
But luckily, we do have. Oh crap! We do have 5 maps, and they are pretty huge. It does take a long time. Like, if you're a brand new player, it takes a long time to see everything there is to see. Oh, come on. I keep thinking I've got to be really close to defeating this play card. So I keep thinking, I'll just come in, I'll just shoot it a couple of times, and it'll be done. And then it's not done. Then it's not even slightly done. So, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Screamer over there.
Reload my shotgun. Shoot a screamer. I did set a bunch of zombies on fire. Hopefully I've got fewer of them now. I should probably take some stimulants. Oh, everybody's just after me.
Bad touch.
Okay, I might have to give this up. Okay, by the way, I just used a method that I learned from Arvid D's State of Decay Science. That is a YouTube channel you can check out. Basically, whenever you are using bandages take a long time to apply. They're sort of their disadvantage. And so you have to stand there and use them, which means it's hard to use them in the middle of combat. And if you get interrupted by a zombie while you're using a bandage, you lose the healing from that bandage. But, okay, now I'm sick. Great. Oh, and now there's a freaking feral? What? No.
Gotta go.
No. Okay, we're going to get up here.
I bet you're feeling really glad that you gave her a chance.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm pretty much out of shotgun shells, so I think I need to make a run for my car. If this thing is really close to death, maybe I can just plink at it with my pistol and finish it off before I have to run away. Really? I definitely, man. I'm sitting here firing at this plague heart and it's not dying, and I'm like, oh man, who tuned the plague heart this way? Who made it so that in lethal zone, bullets do almost no damage to a plague heart? Oh wait, that was me. I did that like 2-3 years ago. And so now I need to yell at my former self for making this difficult.
Hoisted by your own petard.
I'm trying to move in an arc. An arcing motion so that the feral doesn't get on. But he just... Oh no, okay, zombie's about to rip me off. No, okay, good. Okay. Zombies will cling to your car, they will pull you out of your car, and that is very scary. Okay, but we're fine. We've survived. We'll get home, we'll take stock, maybe send somebody else out to try to finish the job.
Someone asked
You
how
have
long
an
have all
infirmary?
3 of us worked at UL.
I do have an infirmary, yes.
How long have we worked at UL?
Correct. That's from Dougie Fresh 505.
Brant Fitzgerald, how long have you worked at Undead Labs?
Since 2010, but I've been working on State of Decay since 2005.
Yeah, Brant was one of the originators of the idea of State of Decay. So he's been working on this project, this franchise, for as long as anyone has. I'm a little bit more of a newcomer. I've only been working on this franchise for 10 years. So I'm just the new little baby in the room next to Brant. But yes,
what does that make? What does that make Rohan?
Oh, I am a fetus. I am the zygote of all of UL.
You're my favorite zygote.
I've only been here since June 2022, so about to be a year and a half.
Okay, so we're almost done building our latrine, upgrading our workshop and stuff. Can we also upgrade? Oh, no, okay. No, I need to have a bunch of knowledge to upgrade my storage any further. Okay, yeah.
Here's one that will take some time to answer. What are you most proud of so far?
Oh.
I'm assuming for State of Decay.
Yeah, so for me personally, the thing that I am actually most proud of is the character generation system in State of Decay 2. So when I joined State of Decay 1 right after it released, so I was involved in like the PC port and the expansion packs for State of Decay 1, but then I was involved in State of Decay 2 from the ground up. And State of Decay 1 did something very clever, which was it didn't have procedurally generated characters. What it had was basically a bunch of pre-created characters, like about 150 pre-created characters, and randomly generated names for those characters, and a limited number of traits. So you would actually get the same character if you played the game for a really, really long time and kept getting people killed and kept recruiting new people. You would get the same characters again, but they would have different names. And because there wasn't that much variety under the surface, it really felt like you were getting a new person. And I really liked that. And one of the things I really liked about that, just as a newcomer to the franchise, was the fact that it really made permadeath mean something. Because that character that you got, the character who had that physique and that set of traits and that name would never ever occur again in your game. So if you got them killed, that's it. That character is gone. Now there were these sort of handcrafted characters that were sort of the stars of the show at the beginning of the game. Those characters you could get by starting the game over from scratch, which again is onerous, and so you probably wouldn't do that either. Some people would, but most folks wouldn't. But it just meant that you would the characters would really die. And I loved that about it. And so when I was involved in, I was like a lead systems guy on State of Decay 2, I really wanted to take that even further. And so the thing that I'm the most proud of working on State of Decay 2 is making real procedural generated characters, where instead of having just a really nice impression of procedurally generated characters, we really do generate these characters using a bunch of rules. And so like this character, Stephanie Bang is not a character in anyone else's game. She only exists for me. She got fired a lot when she, in the world before, which means that she actually was lazy, and so she doesn't contribute labor. So having her in the community doesn't expand your ability to do work around the community. She's Machiavellian, which means that she undermines other people and gets into conflicts with people on her team. She's fussy, which means that she gets frustrated really easily. In fact, I honestly don't know why she's in my community. She's terrible. She's a terrible human being. And she's got this set of traits. But then I can go over, look at somebody else. We can go and look at, not with that button, we can go look at Adam here. So Adam was a glazier. Like my father-in-law, he worked on glass, which means that he gets a morale bonus from having facilities that sort of play into his favorite stuff. He's an anarchist, which means that he gets mad at all the other people in the community who aren't as ideologically pure as he is, and he likes to plan ahead. We've got Fraser here, Lorian Fraser. Who was a spotter. She was on a sniper team, so she's a very good sharpshooter, and you can see that in her skills down below. She's a lung cancer survivor, which means that she actually has really low stamina, but she really likes having an infirmary around. She doesn't use her first name. That's like a quirk that she has. She goes by Fraser instead of by Lorian, and at some point I gave her this trait that she learned mechanics at some point along the way. So basically each of these characters, they're made from a bunch of pieces, and we made a bunch of rules to sort of like make sure that the pieces on a given character all lined up well with each other. And so each, like Dale here, if I get Dustin Daly, who goes by Dale and who I've decided wears a hockey mask all the time, if I get him killed, I will literally never re-roll a character like this again. And none of you have ever re-rolled this character, chances are. It would be it would be an astronomical chance against if somebody else rolled the same character, which means if I get him killed, he's really dead. That character's really dead. There's no way to get him back. And that makes the consequences, and that's like one of the things that we really focus on as sort of like one of the hallmarks of this game, is the fact that your actions have consequences. You make a mistake, you get somebody killed, they are deader than dead. They are just super, super dead, and you will never, ever get them back.
Now that you've said that, Geoffrey, someone in one of our chats is going to come up in 7 minutes and show that exact character.
Oh, yeah, probably so. I mean, they say that that you can't that every time you shuffle a deck of cards, that's literally a unique set of a unique order that has never occurred before, because there are so many possible decks of cards. Decks of 52 cards, that it's just the chances of getting the same one twice is just astronomical against, unless you're deliberately stacking the deck. And so we've got at least as many variables as 52 decks, as a deck of 52 cards. We don't have as many variables on one character, but each of those variables, it can be more than 52 cards. And so it's I think it balances out to being similar kinds of odds. I could actually, you know what? Thinking mathematically, I'm probably wrong. I think the 52 deck of cards is probably actually more random than us. But still, it's a lot. There's a lot. But that was my elaborate answer. Brant, what are you most proud of?
I'll let Rohan go.
Oh, I mean, I don't develop the game, so I don't have a lot of.
What aspect of the game makes you proudest to be involved with it?
I guess being on when I first started, kind of being on the ground level of everything, and just hearing stuff. And I don't know if people in the audience really truly know, every game is a miracle. And for someone like me who, for years up until this point, I've just been someone who has played video games and has never been in the industry, being a part of it and seeing how much everyone goes through and how many people you have to talk to make things happen and how much collaboration goes into it, to get this line of code up, and then the line of code goes up and you're just hoping and praying that you didn't miss anything, or that you find that there's a weird conflict if your vehicle hits this very specific mountain ridge at a 45-degree angle, that it flips into the atmosphere or dips into the ground, and you just kind of you're on the ground floor with everybody, and you see it get built up, and it's so cool. So I guess if you want to say what I have so much pride in working here and working with this team, so I'm proud of the team. I will always say, like, I can't believe that things happen. Like, the game gets made and the game gets improved upon and gets upgraded, and sure, it has its problems, but it's great. Like, I don't.
Yeah, like, no, you've got a really great, unique perspective here, because like, I think I wish that it was something that was easy to just sort of, without like, trying to give everyone your job, which would be, I think, impossible. But like, I wish there was an easy way to sort of communicate your perspective to a lot of other people, just because you get to see everything that goes wrong with our game, right? You get the reports, the things that annoy the audience so much that they're going to send us a message. Like, you get to see all of the worst things, but then you also get to see the process of, the team hearing about it, taking it seriously, really wanting to fix it, and you get to sort of be in that process as well. And I wish that more audience members really could understand firsthand, how a team, how much they care about the bugs in their game. Because it's very easy when there's a game that's struggling, or, it's just got a lot of problems that are difficult to solve. It's really easy to sort of adopt a little bit of a, it was one more
amazing.
gunshot. One more gunshot. Whatever. Anyway, it's really, really easy to just sort of like say, oh, they must not care. If there is still a bug in this game, it means that the developers don't care. And that is so far from the truth. Like, nothing galls us more than to realize that something we didn't work.
I'm never more offended than when I receive a ticket about this team that disparages this team in any way, saying that you guys don't care, or things were, was this intended, and it was like, this bad thing that's happening to you think that we intended this. It doesn't. I do, like, I in many some inside baseball, in many meetings that I have with my manager, I always say like, I don't think this is fair how this team is being treated. But you know,
but you also do see most of like the people who are angriest because of your job. We also do get tons of positive feedback too, which is like we got a really cool supportive community as well, who say very nice things to us too. I just want to make sure that
it's very much so.
Say that like that we're also really thanking the people who've been so supportive to us for so many years.
Because at the end of the day, we understand that it all comes from a place of love, right? You love this game so much that you want it to be flawless and have all the things that you've ever dreamed of and wished for. And you know, sometimes it's really difficult to make those things happen.
Totally.
Well, that segues into what I'm most proud of, and it's the community that this game has built. We have been so fortunate to continue working on this game and building this community and having the community be so protective and like careful with our game that you'd be hard pressed to find a community of this size with a game that's had this many players and has been around this long, to find a community that is so supportive and sort of self-policing. And I mean, that's what State of Decay is built around, is community. And so seeing it played out in real life in a positive way has made this my career game. Like, I could never work on something that is more fulfilling than State of Decay 2 has been for my career and my heart, really.
Well, yeah, and it's been the same for me. So I'm like, that's one of my main reasons why like I'm frequently feel a lot of gratitude towards you, Brant, for having this idea, because none of this would have happened if you hadn't originally decided, you and Doug decided that you wanted to make a insane, weird zombie game. By the way, I should explain to the audience, those of you who are new, I defeated this Plague Heart. One thing I didn't know was there are 2 Plague Hearts right next to it, and when I destroyed this Plague Heart, I woke up both of his friends. And so now, even though this invading force that was about to attack my base, it's now withering away because of that Plague Heart that I killed, there's a new one already, sort of filling its shoes. And now I have to kill 2 more Plague Hearts in order to keep all of these hordes from attacking my base. So, I've loaded up on C4. I'm basically cheesing it because I've got a bunch of equipment that I shouldn't have at this stage. And I'm going to go over there and see if I can take those hearts out before too much craziness happens. Let's see. So, Meg, if you want to come in. Yeah, Meg is here. So Rohan is going to get spelled off by a different member of the team. Meg Cheney is about to join us. So while I head over there, she's going to figure out, yes, she's. If you want to just go swap out for Rohan where he is on the couch, I will also update your name card.
Oh, excellent.
So yeah, I definitely close the door behind you, so we don't get a lot of leaky audio from all over the office. But yeah, so we are right now. I'm just about to. Oh, there's a Juggernaut. What the heck? Okay, I'm trying to take out a Plague Heart before I get completely invaded. Oh, nice. Okay, she's brought beverages for us, which is excellent.
Yeah. Geoffrey, would you like some?
Sure. Go ahead and pass me some. That's great.
As we make the switch, thank you everyone for having me. King P1, I saw your positive shout out. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here actually. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, let's say everybody, nice, huge thank you to Rohan, who, he fields all of your questions, all of the bugs that you bring up, anything that goes wrong in an update. If it gets fixed, it's because Rohan caught it and Rohan brought it to us. So you all owe him a massive debt of gratitude. And also, he usually moderates the chat during these streams. And so he's also been really, just this whole experience, you owe a lot more to Rohan than you probably realize. So thank you, Rohan, for coming in here.
Oh, thank you. I owe a lot to y'all. Red, King P1, Laco, who sends in all the bugs and takes their time to craft all these things for me to actually give the developer something. I appreciate it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I'm choked up. I'm getting choked up. Oh, no.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to swap out Rohan for Meg, and then we're going to get back into this Plague Heart fight. So there's a Juggernaut right now that is hanging around my base. And not my base, it's hanging around the plague cart that I'm trying to take out. And so he's going to, like, me running away and trying to hide on my car, which is what I've been doing historically, is going to suddenly get a lot harder. Because this Juggernaut, he can knock my car around. He can do whatever he wants to me. So I'm going to see if I can get rid of this plague cart as efficiently as possible, so that, you know, I don't have to do as many runs to the car. So I have brought a lot of explosives with me and a lot of fire, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough. But let's quickly, before we get into that, introduce Meg Cheney. Hello, Meg Cheney. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
So Meg Cheney is she's been a producer on State of Decay 2 for a really long time, and she was actually the producer who oversaw the transition that we made from Undead Labs to Wushu Studios, developing the game. And so a lot of what's going right with Curveball is actually, Rohan, would you mind aiming the camera a little better at Meg now that we know where she's sitting? You can just grab the handle on that thing.
I can also move.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, we'll just, no, other way. There you, oh, a little bit more to the left. There. Oh, that's great. Rohan, perfect. Leave it right there. Yeah, so while I'm fighting this plague cart, I'll kind of ask Meg to sort of regale us a little bit with, sort of the tale of Wushu and how they got involved with this, and sort of like all the reasons why we, this, like Brant and I have been talking about how this franchise is kind of our baby. We've worked with this thing for so long, and it's meant so much to us. Handing it off to somebody else to work on is a really difficult thing unless we really think those people are cool. And it was kind of Meg's job to make sure those people were cool. So Meg, are they cool?
Beyond cool. I mean, y'all have kind of met a good chunk of them. They're super fun.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. We have had them on the stream before, though. I think a lot of new people are going to be watching the stream who don't usually watch our streams.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, where should we start? There's like a million reasons why Wushu is a great partner for us. So if we take it way back when we initially engaged with Wushu, we were looking for the right partner who would really understand the IP and who would care about the audience and who were culturally aligned with Undead Labs and had a lot of the same values that we did. And Wushu checked all of those boxes. And when we initially engaged with them, we were just thinking that they would help us support SOD2 along with the rest of the team here, so that we would have essentially a larger development team. And then as things have evolved and changed, and we've worked with them for over a year at this point, and they've proven to be phenomenal partners, and they're proving to really understand the IP and pay attention to the audience. We feel confident in them being able to develop this game.
I'm sorry that I am not asking any follow-up questions.
You're a little busy.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. So
I'm just waiting with anticipation.
Oh, I've already got
Geoffrey
freaking
to
blood
get
plague.
Murdered.
Oh, I am getting murdered. I'm absolutely getting murdered now. Oh, holy cow! I accomplished nothing. I didn't even find the plague heart. I am just getting destroyed. Okay, so my
Geoffrey,
character
you do know the plague heart's on the map, right?
Yeah, it is, but like this particular site, I don't know where it is. Like okay, so one thing that the plague heart icon, it appears where the icon for the building appears. It doesn't appear where the actual plague heart appears. And so sometimes it's possible if you've got a large site or a large building, you'll see the icon on the map that says this is where the plague heart is, but all it's telling you is which building. It's not telling you physically in the building where it is. So, okay. I thought I was going to easily run over there, sneak a bunch of C4 onto a plague heart and kill it. That is not what I did. My character is almost dead. I thought I made some cure. I didn't actually bring the cure.
Better get inside, buddy.
Yeah, I didn't actually bring the cure, so I need to get inside and get some cure. It's yeah.
Why don't you use the infirmary to?
Oh, that's a
get
good
rid of your
idea.
plague?
That's right. Okay, so where did I stick my infirmary? The infirmary is outside the front yard. Oh yeah, Rohan just officially took off. So again, we're really glad that he was here. But yeah, let's go over to the infirmary in person. Be like, hey, infirmary. So first off,
You don't have any.
I don't have any what.
It didn't let you cure yourself right there.
Yeah, I think I might not have enough stuff. I wasn't paying that much attention to it. But let me grab. Maybe it's just because I'm already fully infected. Let's give myself some cure. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm back in fighting shape. Everything's fine. We're gonna go try again. Maybe we'll try the other plague heart first. That might be a little bit easier to find. Okay, I'm gonna have some liquid courage. Thank you, Meg.
You mean grape
Do I need to be
juice?
careful? I had the hiccups right before this stream, and I almost canceled the stream because I was worried that, like, because this stream is going to go on our store page. Like, I was just imagining people, coming over to see our store page, clicking on the stream, saying, "Oh, what's this game like?" And all they're hearing is me hicking up again and again and again. They're like, "Screw this game. I don't want a game that's all about some guy hiccuping."
I really wish you hadn't reminded me this was going on our store page. Thanks, Geoffrey.
Sorry, Meg. Okay, so this place. So I can much more easily find where the plague heart is in this spot. So we're gonna get in there. We're gonna fight this plague heart. So when you were actually getting to know Wushu, Meg, you actually traveled to Liverpool, which is something I didn't get. I'd never been to Liverpool.
I did. So it was after they'd already been working with us for a little while. And and you've mentioned on the stream a few times that the time zone difference is sometimes challenging, and there are conversations and work to be done that sometimes just happens better in person. So last October, a few of us got to go to Liverpool to meet with the team in person, and it was fantastic.
I'm still jealous about that because I'm a Reds fan, and thankfully Meg brought me back something from the airport that said Liverpool.
No, that
on
wasn't
it.
from the airport. We went to the
Oh,
team
wasn't?
store. Thank you, Brant.
Oh,
we
thank
went to
you.
the team store just for you.
Thank you. Much love.
But yeah, it was a really great experience being able to go over and visit them, see their studio, meet with some of the other folks who work over there, get to know the team members, go to the pubs, hang out. I, of course, insisted on being a really obnoxious tourist and seeing a bunch of Beatles things because when in Liverpool, one must Beatle.
So yeah, one of the reasons why you went to Liverpool was because, like you said, working with like a big, time zone difference is really tough. Like, I mean, working with people who are, they're 8 hours away, I think, from us. So like, the end of our workday is the beginning of our workday is the end of their workday, I think, or something like that.
So a vast majority of our actual face-to-face being Google Meet meetings happens between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Seattle time. So after that there's a whole workday that happens where most of our communication just happens via text, and we wait for them to respond to us, and it works pretty well. But what we're finding is that when we're talking about features and really what the goals of those features should be, and doing a deep dive on what we've learned in the KPIs, key performance indicators, data, what we've learned from our data. Someone's mad at me if I start using too many acronyms. Those conversations are a lot more. I'm sorry, I'm watching Geoffrey freak out in frustration over there.
I'm so sorry, Meg. You're trying to have a nice, rational conversation with the audience, and I am getting my character killed.
Anyway, basically, feature deep dives happen better in person because then we can just really workshop the features and talk about what they're supposed to do, and that is it's really invaluable having that face-to-face time. So we got to go to Liverpool once, which was great, and then we had some folks from Wushu come visit us in Seattle, which was also great.
That was great.
Yeah, but it's hard to sort of overestimate how important coordination is when you're making a video game, because there's like no part of a video game really that is just made by one person, unless you're like one of those like really weird multi-talent Renaissance people who like are solo indie developers. Some of those people actually do have the talent to make a game all by themselves. By and large, though, you divide up the work really, really hard, and so like there's just a lot of like, you know, I want a system to work a certain way, but a programmer knows all of the intricacies of you know, how it actually has to work under the surface, and there's a lot of back and forth figuring out how the thing should actually work. And if you can just talk in person, that's great. But if you're living, you know, 8 hours away, like 8 hours, you know, time difference from each other, that back and forth is a lot harder to do. And so you end up really like needing to trust some people to be able to make, you know, independently make really good creative decisions on their own, so that you don't have to, because that kind of back and forth where you're collaborating and working out what to do, it's just really hard to do across the time difference. So like what really, I don't know, like what about Wushu really just sort of, you might have already said some of this, so tell me if I'm just asking you to repeat yourself. What about Wushu really sort of like ended up, you know, working really well, better than we expected?
Well, you know, as you guys talked about a little bit earlier today, like this IP is really special, and the audience is really invested, and finding a co-dev relationship that will understand the IP and the history and, you know, really care about the audience the same way that we do is it's paramount to the success of, you know, future updates. So, you know, we chose Wushu and they chose us too, right? Like, yeah. With that, you know, like hoping that would be the case, but like it wasn't just the case. Like they've surpassed our expectations, right? They over-deliver. They really care about the players. They're truly invested in a way that makes all of us feel very comfortable and confident in the updates moving forward.
So like, yeah. So like, what is sort of the like kind of the day-to-day of you know, working with an outside studio like this? Like do we basically just sort of like just kind of chuck up on the work, but they're largely on their own, or like how do we like, you know, make sure that we're sort of keeping our eye on the ball while also giving them a lot of creative freedom?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like a transition like this is a many-stage process. There's not like the answer that I would have given you 4 months ago is entirely different than the answer I'll give you today, right? Like we've done a lot of the work for the transition already. So right now, what it looks like is, you know, we give them guidance as far as the kinds of features that are on the wish list and, you know, the numbers that we're looking for success. And then they're largely on their own. You know, they're incredibly capable and competent. So we, you know, they give us proposals, we read through them, we talk through them, and then basically it's like, yeah, just go build the thing. And they check in with us frequently, right? Like Eric is still on the project in the sense that, you know, he just double checks to make sure that the design is going well and that things are going well. Provides feedback and guidance on the rare occasion that it's necessary, but otherwise they're a pretty, you know, just like independent, bespoke team.
I mean, Meg, the important thing is that Wushu understands the single most important rule we have, in that every update that we make for State of Decay has to make Fall Down Go Boom speedruns harder.
Yeah, actually, we wrote that one into the contract.
Yeah, you have to watch Fall Down Go Boom's Twitch channel, and you have to make sure whatever you're doing makes his life worse.
Makes it more difficult for Fall to break our game wide open.
Okay, so I am having a serious problem figuring out where the play card is at this site. It doesn't help that it's nighttime, and our night is super dark. We've actually improved it over time. We've made it less dark. We've made it more of a Hollywood night, and it is still incredibly dark.
Okay. Go forward.
Forward?
Go to the right around that, and then go down there and see the green container.
Oh, it's in the green container? Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Pro tip.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I've ever had a play card. So this is one of the things you get from having a game that is so procedurally driven. Like, we don't, like, I can play this game. I play this game at least once a week, and I have for, 5 years. I've never seen a plague heart land in that location. I am not a noob to this game, but I have not seen a plague heart do that before. So let me, I'm going to see if I can I just toss a grenade in there? Okay, yeah, I did damage it. It made its little explosive noises. I wonder if that will... Did I just literally miss every zombie with that? Okay, no, a few of them did catch on fire.
No, you got a few. Yeah, if you throw it at the top of that, the fire actually bleeds through the wall.
Oh gosh, what the heck?
Oh, there's the feral.
I thought he would not come up here. Okay, I was wrong about the feral.
There's certain places they can get to,
Okay,
and
let's
I'm
see.
glad.
Oh yeah, the fire did bleed through. That's cool. Okay, that's the second, I think, damage tier I've done to it. So each plague heart, it will bleed gas at you twice before you actually just... Freaking another one. Okay, fine, whatever. It'll bleed gas at you twice, and then the third time, it actually dies. So is that guy going to come up here like the last one did, or am I just...
Oh, he'll follow.
Will he, though?
He should.
Will he? It seems like it's kind of up in the air whether he will. Oh, hey. Oh, this character's got aim snap. Okay, awesome. The last character did not have aim snap, and so fighting ferals is much tougher because they're so fast. If you don't have the ability to just snap your aim right to their heads, it makes it a lot harder to fight them. But this character's got the gunslinging skill, which lets him do it. So that is one thing, like, because you're playing so many different characters and swapping between them, one of the challenges of the game is keeping track of what your current character is capable of relative to other characters.
Actually, I want to pose a question that we got earlier to Meg. Meg, what are you most proud of about State of Decay so far? And it can be anything, really.
Yeah, things that you've worked on, or things that you've just been happy to be associated with, or whatever you want to bring up.
Oh man, the funny thing is, like, the thing I'm most proud of is not even something that I did. I kind of inherited this really rock star team when I joined. Just an amazing group of incredibly talented individuals that I enjoyed working with every single day. And it was truly a magical team, and it's just a fantastic group of people. And I think that's been the best part of SOD2 so far, right? Like, working with the folks in Seattle who are just so amazing, and then the fantastic team over at Wushu. Like, every day I get to go work with some of the coolest people I've ever met.
Okay, I'm gonna loot this plague.
And then unfortunately you have to sit in a room with me and Geoffrey.
Except you're not actually in the room, Brant, so it's all right.
Yeah, exactly. Brant is mitigating the problem there. I appreciate that.
I did see a question float through the chat earlier about whether or not I've had your famous tacos. I did. We had a taco party. Was it like a year ago?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. So we actually did we did a stream of Brant's taco party, and Meg, you were there. You were just like the most subtle person on the camera.
I was. I don't like being on camera.
Yeah, I actually
do
honestly
like
really
having drinks
appreciate.
with friends, though. So
I really appreciate you coming here, bringing some liquid courage, and choosing to be a part of this.
Yeah.
When it's not usually like, I mean, me, I will get on a camera just for fun, but that is not everyone's feeling. So I appreciate you coming here and doing this with us.
Yeah, happy to do it. Happy to be here.
Well,
Where
we're
was I?
lucky because Meg's the boss. She's the boss of SOD2 now, and so we got some leadership in here. That's great.
Oh, that was my character. Okay, I was looking for my character who died. So when your character dies, unless they get physically ripped in half or their head blown off, they become a zombie. And it's actually really difficult to find them because zombies are mobile. They don't just lie still dead. The whole point about a zombie is that they are the Walking Dead. Oh, wait, crap. Do not want that guy to make any noise. So I'm actually pretty lucky that I found the dead body of the character that I got killed earlier. Shot him.
Was that Scary Gary?
No, I don't think I got Scary Gary killed. No, I would have reacted way more strongly if I'd gotten Scary Gary killed.
Aren't
He's
you
one of my
playing
faves.
Gary right now?
I'm Dale right now. I think the one that I got killed was Oh, I forgot their name, but no, I've still got Scary Gary. We're good on Scary Gary. This was
That is actually something I would like to see on the wish list, is being able to click through and revisit all your departed members.
Totally. Oh crap. Okay, I've got an active infestation, which means I've still got an active plague heart somewhere. I just haven't seen it yet. So somewhere around here there is a plague heart that I have not yet killed. I need to find it. Oh no! I forgot there was a ditch there.
Not a good place to get stuck.
Yeah. I'm pretty lucky that I didn't get fully stuck there. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is scout. So scouting, there's a couple different ways you can do it. One is to climb up on something high. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh boy.
I just got hit by a
Whoops.
hiding bloater. Now I'm sick. All of my other plans are out the window. That's not what I wanted to eat. All the plans I had are out the window now because now my character's sick and I have to take him home. I'm not losing Dale over that nonsense. Dale is too important. Him with his beautiful pink gun. Dale is too important. Okay, let's get in this car. Let's get home. I honestly, I don't even know how much... I've gone through so much cure for the plague during this one session. I don't know how much more cure I can possibly have. I'm going to start running low on meds. I'm going to start running low on plague samples. I'm going to have to start, banking my characters in the infirmary until I can get them some stuff. So this is scary.
That's a curveball we could add on lethal. You start building up resistance to cure. It takes 2 after a while.
Oh no, that would be awful. There are players out there who just want us to do the most sadistic possible version of the game, and I understand. Once you feel like you've sort of mastered a certain difficulty level, you often want to challenge yourself with something more. But at some point, people get so good at this game that making it fun for them, making it more challenging for them, just makes it impossible for anyone else to play. So that's why I'm glad we've got at least selectable difficulty levels, right? So that you can. My whole community is out fighting a feral, and I'm just ignoring them. I just don't care anymore.
You better ignore them. You've got.
Okay, so got to manufacture some more cure, use it. Okay, it's morning time now, which means that we've sort of everybody has eaten their breakfast, and so we're down to 5 food. So I need to get some food. I'm desperate for food. So there's a few different places I can get food. I can get some food probably here at Mama Fratelli's. I can get some food over here at the Jolly Collie Tavern, get some at the Swine and Bovine. So as much as I would love to figure out where this infestation is coming from, it might be more important for me to just go and get some food for my people first. And honestly, a little less life-threatening too, which is another good reason to do it. Because, okay, how many... I've got enough bullets. Mostly I have bullets for my revolver, which is not going to be very helpful because my revolver is loud and I don't want to use it all the time. So, all right. So Dale is cured again. He's ready to go out. But yeah, we're going to set our sights a little lower. We're no longer looking for a plague heart. We're just looking for some food. That's all we need now is just some food. So we'll head over here to Mama Fratelli's is pretty close. Hopefully that'll have some food in there. So we actually, the loot system in this game is pretty cool, actually. So, initially, State of Decay had a loot system where it was basically each container in each building just sort of had a random selection of things that it could possibly provide. And we've sort of shifted over time towards a system where we basically guarantee that certain things can be found in certain places and that certain amounts of things will definitely be found on the map. So we might decide okay, this map has got 30 guns on it. That means as you're searching the map, if you find a lot of guns, then guns get less frequent. And if you find very few guns, guns get more frequent. But at the end, you found exactly 30 guns. And we're similar with food where we kind of say okay, this map is going to have 50 rucksacks of food in it. That means that definitely each of the sites that is supposed to offer food will definitely have at least 1 food rucksack. And overall, we'll make sure that you have 50. So the looting, even though there's a lot of randomness to it and you're never exactly sure what you're going to find when you go someplace, there's a certain number of guarantees where you're not going to just roll a random map that is just by sheer chance everything is wrong. and you never find any food. Like we want to, randomness can be fun in that, when it offers players interesting surprises, but randomness can also be a nightmare if some players just get completely screwed over by the random number generator. If like Guildenstern is playing your game and he's just flipping tails again and again and again and again and again, and just never, and the random number generator just never goes in your favor, because that has to happen to somebody. There's going to be a bell curve of results, and most people are just going to get middle of the road results. Some people are going to get amazing results, and some people are going to get disastrous results.
So is that actually what RNG stands for? Rosencrantz and Guildenstern?
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, that is a by the way theater nerd reference that I think my daughter and her friends will get, and like not a lot of other people will. In Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, one of the characters, I can't remember who, is flipping a coin the entire time, and it always comes up the same. I don't even remember if it was heads or tails, so that's how not a theater nerd I am. But it keeps coming up the same again and again, which is a thing that can happen. It's just it's only likely to happen to one person amongst millions. You have to be Salver Hardin, for that to always happen for you. That was a nerdy Foundation reference.
That was seriously nerd.
That was the deepest nerdy cut ever. Okay, so we've got 2 rucksacks of food. That's helpful. We've also got the swine and bovine restaurant. So, by the way, one of my favorite things, we talk about things that we're proud of being associated with that I have nothing to do with. So I didn't come up with any of this stuff, but I'm very proud of the fake brands that were developed for this game. A lot of them came from Brant and Doug and from a lot of the folks, the artists who worked on the game before I got here. But we've got like this right here. This is sort of the fast food chain of the State of Decay universe, the swine and bovine. Are they called the swine and bovine because they offer hot dogs and hamburgers? Is that the idea? So it's like pork.
The original idea was that they're primarily pork and beef based, but I believe the idea was that they named it after their most famous hamburger, which had piles of both animals.
So we like have like a ground beef patty, but then also a bunch of like pulled pork or something like that on the same sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
I'm making that now. That sounds amazing.
This was the brainchild of Doug Williams and James McMillan. But we take a lot of pride in the branding that's in our world, and we've gone kind of overboard, and I love it. Like I truly believe that it feels like a more real place because the recognizability of some of these things, right?
Yeah, because it's just the same way that you just learn to recognize a McDonald's or a Wendy's or something in the real world, you start to recognize the swine and bovine. Like a swine and bovine, it's got a certain profile, like a Pizza Hut or a McDonald's has got a certain profile, or like a Wendy's, the roof looks a certain way. Like they've got this brand identity where it's like you get that same sense of familiarity looking at these sort of branded locations that you get from, that same sense of familiarity you get in the real world. And, a huge part of like the feel of this game is about nostalgia. It's about that feeling of like, ooh, I recognize that. I have positive feelings about that from some time in my past. Like that sort of nostalgic feeling that you get from a lot of things in life. This game is really trying to evoke that because it's about a fallen world where you're trying to reclaim some little bit of what you've lost. And so really trying to evoke that sense of nostalgia is a huge part of like what the art in this game is trying to do. And I love the fact you sort of, without having to like do a bunch of like weird awkward product placement of like real world stuff, you've created these like brands that as a player plays the game, they come to recognize them, and then they get a little bit of that same nostalgic feeling from seeing that familiar profile of the building on the horizon or seeing that familiar logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get all of the nostalgia and none of the heart disease.
Yeah, none of the heart disease and none of the lawsuits.
Yes.
It's great.
My favorite is near and dear to my heart, of course, which is the Peddler's Barbecue.
Right.
Maybe our strongest brand in the whole game is the gas station. I mean.
Oh yeah, I should go and check one of those out because I went to a Spiroil station earlier, but that's not the Bronto gas. The Bronto gas is the real star of the show.
That one's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's, derivative, but it's also something that even as a kid, like, oh, let's go to the dinosaur gas station because of oh God,
Yeah, Sinclair.
The real name is
Sinclair, isn't it?
somebody's going to tell me which company is the one that has the dinosaur.
I think it's Sinclair.
Sinclair, yeah. Like that sign was. We didn't have many where I was growing up, but man, the second you saw it, there's no question.
Yeah.
And then there's
yeah. Go ahead.
Because it's America. Often when you see that sign, you know that there's other things around it that you can pretty much expect to be there. So that's why State of Decay feels kind of universal for, especially, people who grew up in America. That, oh, well, whenever I see that gas station, there's a really good chance that there's a fast food place next to it because that's how we did things, right?
Yeah.
So there's a familiarity that's kind of built into it.
So Brian Menard just asked us what the chances are now that Wushu is sort of running the show. What are the chances of getting an additional difficulty level beyond lethal? So I don't know. That's a good question because whenever we're planning an update, oh hey look, I've got a speed limit sign in the back of my truck. That's great. Whenever we're planning, directions to develop the game, sometimes like we always have to try to balance updates to the game that are really attractive to a tiny subset of the audience against ones that will make a big positive difference to everyone. Because I think we have to always do like a combination, because we don't want to just, if we only ever do the lowest common denominator, biggest audience thing, where it's like, oh yeah, everybody is going to enjoy this particular update. If we only ever did that, there's a lot of individual segments of our audience who would miss out on, and that's losing those people. That's a shrinking audience just as much as losing the largest chunk would be losing audience, and so we always want to this game to be accessible to a wide variety of different people, and so that means sort of like distributing our updates amongst those folks. So it's like there was this point where when we released the Green Zone update, for instance, which happened before we added Lethal Zone, there were some people who were like angry at us. What'd you say?
Green Zone's my favorite.
Yeah. I love Green Zone too. That's where I play with my kids. It's awesome.
That's what I play for myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to diminish it at all. But the thing that I like about it though is like my kids don't usually play this kind of game, but they can play with me in the Green Zone because even though my daughter's really good at Hollow Knight and my son is really good at Teardown. Both of them can like join me playing this game, even though it's not their usual thing, because I can tune it down to the Green Zone, and it doesn't require expertise in this genre, in order to play it. But there were some folks who were mad at us. They're like, "Why did you make the game easier?" We're like, "Well, we didn't make the game easier for you. We made an easier version of the game for people for whom that's what they want from the game, and that's a segment of the audience you don't belong to, but it's still a segment of the audience, and they matter to us." And so it's interesting trying to figure like what is like big updates that make the game better for everyone are always easy sells, right? But then we also have to figure out like when are we going to do the updates that are mostly for a subset of the audience, because we should do those too, but we can't do them all the time. Like for one thing, like I think each subset of our audience would really wish that all we were doing was adding updates just for them. But you also know, like if you step back and look at it, that that's not really what we could do. We've got a lot of people we need to entertain. So yeah, maybe it's possible at some point we'll add some way to make the game more difficult, whether it's additional difficulty beyond lethal or some other way that you can tune the difficulty up. I don't know. That would be really cool.
Honestly, I have the answer, Geoffrey.
Yeah.
It's just a button that when you press it and you say that you want to have a harder difficulty than lethal, it just immediately calls the nearest mental health professional in your area and sets up an interview.
But yes, so I would not rule out the possibility of somehow, whether it's adding another formal difficulty to the existing 5, which might be a lot. Honestly, 5 difficulties is a nice round number. I don't know if we necessarily want to just add a 6th one on top of that, but whether it's that or some other method of making things difficult, I would not put it past, I wouldn't say that that's unlikely. It totally could be, but we just have to carefully choose when to do it, right? Because we want to make sure that we're not just feeding the player, like, because the players who want a difficulty beyond lethal, you are amazing and we love you and you're a huge part of the lifeblood of our community. But also, you are a tiny, tiny segment of people. And so, like, if that's all we did was just increase the difficulty for you, we would drive away everyone else in droves. So we got to be cautious. We got to be very cautious. But yeah, I don't think that's crazy, especially if you're open to like different solutions to that problem.
The question about adding leader types has come up. The tank has asked this one, but I mean, I think a leader type would be 5 times harder to do than adding a new map, and we've already discussed how difficult a new map would be to add.
The thing that I would love to do someday with leader types is make them matter more. Like right now, the leader types, all they do, they unlock a facility or two. That's kind of and they unlock an ending. But if you're to the point where you're just playing forever communities, you're not really trying to win the game anymore. That doesn't matter as much. And so
Right.
I would love for leaders to make a bigger difference. And honestly, like that would be an easier change to make, and also a more like I think a more impactful change. Rather than just adding another leader type, making the leader types you already have better. And I think that's oftentimes a lot of what we're trying to do with the updates in this game is because I mean, Curveball is a little bit of a risky update because it adds an entirely new feature and an entirely new menu to a game that is already really complex. And so I think one thing you'll note, Wushu very consciously decided to only unlock the Curveball feature after you've played the game for 5 in-game days, which is like 7.5 real-time hours. And that is very, very deliberate because it adds complexity. And the last thing you want to do is like have a brand new player of your game just get bowled over by the complexity right off the bat. And so
Yeah, we have a hard enough time teaching people the depth of this game without adding things like curveball.
Yeah, exactly. So they were very conscious about that. And so what that means is usually a lot of the time we're not going to be trying to add entirely brand new features to the game that add more complexity to the game because it just makes it so that new people will just never figure it out. Instead, what I would love to do is like things like the heart attack update where plague hearts were already a thing, infestations were already a thing, sieges were already a thing. But the heart attack update made them all better, and it made them all more interesting without adding a new thing that you had to wrap your head around. And so I think that kind of update is the best kind of thing for us to be thinking about right now with this already complex game. So, like, you know, so that's why when I'm suggesting things like, you know, would we add a 6th difficulty? I don't know if we'd add a 6th difficulty. Maybe we would, you know, come up with some other way that you can tweak your difficulty. Or maybe would we add, you know, a new leader type? Maybe. Or maybe we would take the leader types we have and make them more meaningful. That could be really cool. This is all just me conjecture. I'm not actually promising any of these things because, again, I want to really respect Wushu's, you know, sense of, you know, ownership over what they're doing. I don't want to be sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, audience, I'm just off the cuff going to tell you all the things we should do," and now Wushu is stuck holding that bag.
Yeah, you'd be stuck holding the bag.
I guess that's true. I would be the one who got in trouble, but.
I mean,
yeah.
and another yardstick that we use when we're talking about the features that we might come out with is, you know, we look at the game as it is, and we try to find the things that are kind of like immersion breaking. And if there's anything we can do to make it so that when you're playing the game, you can actually like get lost in the story, get lost in the fiction. Those are also the kind of improvements that we are looking to make as we're prioritizing the features that we work on next.
That's a really, really good point because like basically a lot of the time you can't predict in advance what parts of the game are going to be immersion breaking, what parts are going to feel weird, what parts are going to be really easy to exploit or to sort of make feel very gamey. Because that's one thing. Like people will, you know, I often use Max Payne as an example of this because people complained when Max Payne was a new game. They complained all the time that it was a save crawl. That basically you would just, you know, you'd go a few steps and then hit autosave, hit quick save, then take another few steps and hit quick save, then another few steps and hit quick save, and it felt like all you were doing was just saving all the time. And I was like, but that quick save button's under your control. Like that's the thing you're doing. Why are you blaming the game for something that you're doing? But that was before I was a game developer. I became a game developer fairly quickly after Max Payne came out, and then I suddenly realized that you know my responsibility was to try to create a game that encouraged players, like to create incentives for players to have their best experience. And if the game was encouraging people to do something that was making the game less fun for them, that's not their fault for making the game less fun for themselves. That's the game having weird incentives. And so I couldn't just lay that at players' feet. I had to think of it as, my responsibility. I mean, obviously you can't, predict every single weird behavior that a player is going to have and try to stay ahead of it. But you can try to do your best for the majority of players and try to make it so that those players are going to have the best time just doing what comes naturally. Like, to some degree, you can expect players to sort of learn the best way to play a game. Oh, crap. And make it their responsibility to some degree. But at some point, you do have to take responsibility for, I made a game where the most advantageous way to play it was to collect every potion and never use one, or something like that. And then, so that's not the player's fault that they're collecting every potion and never using them. That's my fault for how I designed the game. And maybe, if I worked on Diablo 2 and then I was going to go make Diablo 3, I would completely change the way that potions work. And that's what they did. And that's what we tried to do. So yeah, you're absolutely right that finding parts of the game where players tend to behave in a way that doesn't feel like they're in the zombie apocalypse, and then making it, building the game in a better way to make it feel more to them like they're actually making the same kinds of decisions you would make in the zombie apocalypse, that feels a lot better. Because, we can't actually simulate the real experience of the zombie apocalypse, right? That's not a thing. No one wants that. That would not be a fun life. Nobody actually wants to do that. What you want is to have...
But if it happens... Yeah. We're all prepared. If it happens, we're all prepared.
That's true. We all have at least, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's like what you want is not a game that really simulates a zombie apocalypse. What you want is a fun game that is mostly just fun, but it makes you think in the way you would have to think in a zombie apocalypse. Like the strategies that you're using are similar to the strategies that you would use in a real zombie apocalypse. So if you end up feeling like all of the strategic choices you're making are just about gamey stuff, or just about how do I exploit this game to do what I want it to do, if that's all of the decisions that you're making and you're never going oh no, my people are starving, I need to find them food. That's a real situation from the zombie apocalypse that you actually want to have simulated. And if that's all your, sorry, my phone is buzzing, and so I'm getting distracted from my own thoughts. What the heck is happening? Oh, it's probably just spam. Anyway, yeah, if you feel like the decisions you're making are parallel to the decisions you would really be making in a real zombie apocalypse, then it feels like you're playing the game for a reason. The game hits you on a different level than if it's just you're just figuring out, well, how can I break this game in order to make it do what I want. I hope that phone call wasn't like one of my children at a payphone or something like that calling because they're being chased by a kidnapper, because that would be really bad. But
I mean, you could pull over and check.
I guess that's true. But no, that was probably a spam call, because that's most of what happens with my phone these days. My phone, I get texts from people that I care about, and then everyone who tries to call me is spam. It's like we just invented a thing that lets people bother you, and that's all it does. Okay, so we have got about 15 minutes left. What's going on in the chat? Have there been any other questions that we should try to answer before we wrap this sucker up? Because I have been very absorbed in being in the lethal zone and have not been paying any attention.
No, we've lulled our crowd into submission.
Yeah, they're just.
It's because I showed up, I'm pretty sure.
Stop it. I mean, 2 hours is a long stream too. It
is a really long stream. It's weird. The people who actually do stream for 8 hours a day, I do not understand. That is a big job, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't do more than 2 hours on my own, even on my own personal stream, without losing my mind.
Laco asked a question about pre-order bonuses. We're looking into it. No promises.
Yes. It's tough. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of things to navigate for that.
Yeah, what Brant is talking about is the fact that when we originally released the game 5 years ago, there were a bunch of pre-order bonuses that people could get for pre-ordering from different from different retailers and stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff, there's just no way to get it now. Those retailers are not selling copies of this game, like disc copies of this game anymore. This game is only bought digitally by people, as a general rule, or gotten on Game Pass. And so a lot of those things are just not accessible. If somebody wants to have them, somebody who's just joined the game recently, if they want to have them, the answer is they just can't. And so we would, and it's mostly just like little, it's just a couple of weapons or a car or something like that. It's not like a massive game-changing difference. But still, people who are, who just really like to have sort of the complete version of a game would love to have that kind of stuff. And so we have been, talking about ways that we can make it available. The problem is, like, this game is just getting older and older, which makes, older things like that weirder and weirder to implement. We even had considered... just trying to give them away as prizes and things like that, and even that is actually turning into a big hassle. So we understand why people want this, and we would love to be able to offer it, but it is complicated. I want to repair this truck. There we go. I'm going to take one more little sortie out there. Okay, so I still don't know which building around here has got a play card in it, but I definitely, for no reason, woke up this play card. I don't even know why I did that. That was a stupid decision, but it's my decision, and I'm to own it, I guess. But I should probably... Let's see if I can kill one more play card before we're done. I don't know how likely that is, but we'll try. So let's stack the deck in my favor. Let's grab a heavy weapon. All the way at the bottom of my list, we got the heavy weapons. Let's see here. Which one has got the greatest impact? I think the sledgehammer might be on top. I think the tank hammer might actually be on top. I think everything else is just a little bit less than the tank hammer. So I'm going to grab a tank hammer. I've got this assault rifle. I've got this pistol. I've got a bunch of fire. I've got a Willie Pete grenade.
Oh, yeah.
Let's grab the Willie Pete. Let's grab some of these. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a flashbang. I thought there was a smoke grenade. I don't have any smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are really powerful. I keep forgetting they exist because they're not easy to find everywhere. But I just watched Arvid D's latest video, and he really makes a point of how powerful smoke grenades are. Oh, wait, there it is. It's right there. I didn't see it. I've got smoke grenades.
Yeah.
This is going to go so much better.
Super OP.
This is going to go so much better, everybody. Oh, man. I cannot wait. Okay, here we go. It is on now. We're going to find that... It's probably in like one of these houses over here. So I'm going to mark this house. It's probably in one of those houses. Because it's got to be something that I woke up while fighting the other plague hearts. And that is close enough that it very quickly got an infestation up and running near my base. Oh, there's a juggernaut chasing me, but I don't care. And because I've got a car. Cars are OP. Honestly, so many of our design efforts in this game are about trying to figure out how to limit cars. Because they're just so powerful against zombies. Especially if you're in the green zone. In the lethal zone, hitting too many zombies with your car destroys your car really fast. But in like the green zone, you can just run over as many zombies as you want. We don't care. We just let you do it.
Mama Tinker, there's no doubt that Joe is the best player on staff. Zero doubt.
Joe Swarner is the frequent other host of this podcast. What is this? It's not called a podcast. What the hell?
It's a good start.
Yeah, great. Me calling the stream a podcast and then getting hit by a bloater. I'm clearly a genius.
This is a good start.
Yeah, everything's going really, really well for me. Okay, so this house doesn't have a play
How'd that
card.
OP smoke bomb go for you?
Yeah, well... All right. Anyway, I'm betting the play card is up here someplace. That's my guess. You can sort of look at its influence and try to guess where it might be. So I'm going to guess it's up here somewhere. Okay, there's a couple of places that are owned by the play card. Is it not up here? Wait, what's over here? Gotta find this guy.
That's going to be it.
There it is. There's our buddy the plague heart. Okay. Well, let's take some health. We're going to get our smoke bomb ready. And then Let's find the plague heart first before we...
You're good. You've still got a full 10 minutes. You got this.
Oh, crap. Does this
He's
guy
got a
not...
full 10 minutes and a full house.
Yes. Okay, where the heck? Brant, where did you put the plague heart?
Check the... You ran by it in the kitchen, probably.
I did? Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, get off me, all you idiots. Okay, hold on. Kitchen? Oh, there it is. Okay, now I know where it is, but... Oh! Okay, before I do anything with that,
You also found the utility box.
I'm going to throw a Willy Pete in there. Try to take out as many zombies as I can. Oh, get off me. But, okay. So I'm pretty sure the fire's out. So it was... in
Willie
here.
Pete actually sets up a little smoke screen, too.
Okay, cool. Probably not as good as the regular smoke screen, so...
No.
I think I just made
There
that
you
work.
go.
Yeah, okay. So now I'm going to charge up big power attacks. Okay, you got to get away. Got to get away. Okay, that was one health level down. Okay, everybody is coming in. Oh, crap. Crap. So now I'm sick.
Oh, and you're on fire.
I'm sick and on fire. Not the best scenario. Okay. Okay, not you. You. Wait, can I... Okay. Did I not bring... Of course I didn't bring Cure with me. Oh, I'm a disaster. Nope, stop it. I'm just trying to get in my car. This is ridiculous.
I love this so much.
Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, do not get hit by that bloater. So if I get hit by a plague bloater now, because I'm sick, it will kill me. It will just kill me outright. So
don't hit one.
good plan. Thank you, Meg. Thank you.
I'm here to offer the valid
Oh,
strategies.
man, I think that would have been a piece of a bloater on the ground. Okay. We're going to do this. Before the end of the stream, we're going to do this. I got 7 minutes left. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to get myself some Cure. I'm going to bring some Cure with me. And we're going to kill this freaking Plague Heart. I promise. Maybe I should have actually claimed an outpost around here someplace so I could go to the outpost instead of driving all the way back home. Ah! So do we have any more clever questions from the chat that I can try to answer while I'm about to pass out from stress?
Zane, the bear, the smoke grenade just obscures the zombie vision so they can't really see you. If you run around and run into them, they have a chance to notice that you're there.
Yeah, so basically they can feel you. Like they can't see you and they can't hear you, but they can feel you. And or they can hear you too, but they just can't. Yeah, it's like if you bump into them, they can attack you. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Magic.
Oh wait, is that Magic Man?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Magic Man's birthday. Magic Man 79 is one of our favorite streamers.
Yeah.
Magic with a K, in case you're trying to find him. Okay, so anyway, I made... Oh, yeah, they went into my inventory. Cool. Let's cure ourselves. And then let's have some coffee because we're tired. And, okay, I think otherwise we're good. Okay, so what I need to do is actually use that... so that Plague Heart, it's right next to the back door, which means that, like, a zombie is just going to walk right into me. Even if they're just coming here and following the noise of the Plague Heart being hit. Even if I've got a smoke grenade on, they're still going to sort of run into me, and they might still attack me. And also, I think if they're already aggroed on you, I think it might also be a little easier for them to find you, to attack you. So the smoke grenade might not be the panacea that I'm hoping for, but it probably helps. So I'm going to still try it. Okay, we got 5 minutes.
You can do this.
I am
have faith in
either
you.
going to kill this Plague
faith.
Heart or get my beloved character Dale killed. I'm going to do one or the other. So everyone vote on which of them you'd like to see.
You know what I want to see?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you want.
Good content.
Yes. So, Arvid actually recommends you don't place the. Oh, there we go. Oh, destroyed. Nice, nice, nice. You don't place the smoke grenade right next to the plague heart. Oh gosh, this guy. All right.
Yeah, because then you can't get out of the area of effect when it burps.
Yeah. So my character has got the marathon skill, which is why he's not losing any stamina doing all this running. Crap. But he is losing stamina from fighting this guy right here. I'm just going to smack him and... Oh, gosh. No, he's going to tackle me. No, no, no. No, no, no. We're smacking the feral. We dodge that attack. Smack him. Smack him. Oh, we then hit Y. Hit Y. Oh, dang it. Oh, I was too late. I was too late. Okay, hit Y. There we go. Stab. 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 Nice.
That's the most satisfying kill cam in our whole game.
Absolutely. Yeah, those guys are so... Oh, they're so obnoxious. It just feels so, like, I don't know, making you feel good about murder might not be the most pro-social thing that we do, but...
It's not murder if they're already dead.
That's true. That's true. It is already a dead person. It is a repurposed corpse of a human. So it's fine. It's fine.
You're doing him a favor.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it probably am. Somewhere in there, his consciousness is probably like, I hate being a feral. I can see through his eyes, and he's doing all these terrible things, but I can't control him. And you're giving him the sweet release of death. So
that's right. That's how I sleep at night, Geoffrey, thinking that way.
All right. We're going to come over here. We're going to go home. So, okay. So what have we accomplished today?
Well, you've accomplished something. Brian Menard has actually complimented your gameplay, Geoffrey.
What? Brian Menard is so much of a better player than me. That seems absurd. But okay, so we actually did. So one thing I did not call attention to was the news travels curveball was active that entire time, which means that I was getting more influence rewards for everything I was doing. Influence is the currency in the game, and see that little star in a circle symbol over there on the HUD on the upper left. I've got 9,951 in influence now, and a big part of that is probably because everything I was doing was earning me more influence than it normally would. So anyway, so that's the benefit of the curveball update. The previous update, the heart attack update, that's why I had to fight all those plague hearts, was because they were sending these infestations after me that are now rotting away and are no longer a threat because I killed the plague hearts. I've still got this one plague heart over here, though, that I'm going to have to deal with. But I'm just going to have to deal with that on my personal stream or something.
You have 2 minutes. Do you want to try?
I don't think I should do that. I think that what I should do is say a big thank you to Meg Cheney for coming in and being our guest for the second hour. Thank you so much, Meg, for your insights into like the big challenge we've taken on, passing this game off to another studio while still maintaining all of the love and attention and care that we wanted to maintain. You've been a big part of that. I really thank you so much for coming in and talking about it and doing it in the first place.
Yeah, happy to talk about it. We are working with a great team, and I could talk about how awesome they are all day. So, anytime.
And thank you, Brant, again, for everything, for coming up with this idea in the first place, and also just being here with me on so many of these streams. You really, the community loves you for very good reason, and glad to have you here.
Well, I'm fortunate that the community responded to the idea that Doug and I developed. I'm super blessed that I've gotten to work with great people over the years and today. And Meg, you're awesome, by the way. Superstar.
Brant, you're awesome.
Superstar.
You're getting lots of thanks and love in the chat, by the way, Megan. I don't know if you're looking at it, but I hope you're seeing it.
And Geoffrey, you're all right.
I see some of the chat. Thanks, guys. It was nice to be here and hang out with you guys.
And thank you for the liquid courage that you brought us. That was really helpful.
I hate being on camera, but I like having a drink with friends. So this worked.
You mean grape juice?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we had. So anyway, thank you all so much. We're going to wrap up this stream. But if you're watching this later on, say, our Steam page, then it's probably just going to loop into something else as soon as you're done. So stick around. Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, we're just going to throw up an end screen that's got a bunch of links on it for you. So click on those and watch more of our streams and subscribe to us and follow us and do all of that stuff because we love you.
Smash that like button.
Mash that like button.
Jeffrey, my next idea for our next stream,
Oh no.
like concept, should just be State of Decay After Dark, and all it is this screen with the awkward sign off.